Welcome everybody, my name is Matthew Laster. I'm the product manager for Lowrance Displays. I'm here at the West Marine store in downtown Key West. Inside we've got local charter captain Robert Trosset, or RT as everybody calls him. He's going to talk to us a little bit about how he fishes down here in the Florida Keys and how he gets the most out of his Lowrance Ultimate Fishing System. So we're here at the West Marine store in downtown Key West. RT and I have been fishing for a couple of days with the Lowrance Ultimate Fishing System. We're going to talk about how RT uses his Lowrance displays and the Ultimate Fishing System on his boat, where it's integrated with everything, with his trolling motor, his power poles, his radar, his charts, and how he uses all of those electronics to break down a fishing area and have a good productive day on the water. Before we start talking about how RT uses his Lowrance Ultimate Fishing System, we need to talk about the Lowrance Ultimate Upgrade rebate that's going on right now. For full details, visit lowrance.com/offers or westmarine.com. But if you go there, you can find out how you can save up to $1,000 on an HDS system. So with the Lowrance HDS Ultimate Fishing System, you really have total control over everything in your boat, straight from your HDS display, whether it's your autopilot, your radar, if you've got power poles, an integrated trolling motor, your sonar, all the way straight down into the charting, whether you're using a CMAP reveal card or the embedded chart. So having all of that stuff come together really helps you out, right, RT? So you're using all of that stuff combined in order to have a good day on the water, right?
Oh, definitely. And I really like the reveal CMAP, and I'm able to find spots that I've never found before. The radar helps me navigate at night or safely and early in the morning and stuff like that. And then also the autopilot on the trolling motors, I use a ton, so it's really good.
A couple days ago, we went out and we hit some shallow wrecks. And RT, you're really relying on your charts and your sonar when you're doing that, right? You're finding the wrecks with your charts and your waypoints. And then once you get to those spots, you're looking at your traditional sonar, you're looking at your active target, confirm the fish are there, see if you can, figure out how to set up on them. So tell us just a little bit about how you're fishing a wreck.
Well, we started off, as you know, we used a chart plotter. It was early in the morning. We navigated a few tricky channels.
Yeah, there's a couple in there that I don't know how you do it without a chart, right?
You got to follow it. No markers or anything. And then we used the active target to get the bait. I mean, we could see them in 10 feet of water, and the bait was swarming around us, and we were able to throw the net and catch plenty of bait for the trip.
Yeah.
Then we took off and ran to the shallow wreck, used the GPS and to find a wreck. And then once we got there, we used the active target and our sonar to just see what was on the wreck. I mean, we marked zillions of fish, and we were able to. And
a little bit of everything too. Some good variety in fish, right?
Yeah, we caught some really nice kingfish. We caught a bunch of mackerels and blue runners, jack crevalles, and some barracuda. So it's a good way to start a trip.
So that's an awful lot of stuff that you're doing just over the course of a day, RT. So it sounds like that could get a little bit complicated, but I think that people find it's a little bit easier than it sounds, right? So let's go ahead and we'll have a look at how that day of fishing went.
As you'll see, we were on a lot of fish and we had a lot of fun.
That's what we need. All right, so we're just getting our day started. RT, we're gonna go out and catch some bait, and we're kind of just sitting here. We're about to run through a channel. So tell me how you're gonna go find where the bait are.
Well, we're gonna use the reveal chart, and we'll run through this narrow channel. As you know, around here there's a lot of shallow water.
Yeah.
So finding this channel with reveal is real easy. We can follow it along.
Okay.
And we'll take off.
All right.
This is a channel we're gonna go into, and it's very narrow at the beginning, and it's only 1 foot on each side. So we're going to have to run down the middle. There's very low light right now, so it's going to be a big addition here to be able to use this reveal chart. Well, the CMAP is so accurate that I can trust it to run down this channel. It's only probably 40 feet wide.
Let's have a look at that, RT. Look how you're talking about how narrow this channel is.
Right.
You can see on this CMAP reveal chart. I mean, there is a very clear cut here, and if you get too far on either side,
you're aground.
You're going to be in trouble, right?
Oh yeah, you're aground. So yeah, Matthew, the detail on this reveal chart is amazing. So it lets me run at low light. I can run early in the morning or even at night and follow my chart and and get me there safely.
Nice.
Well, let's see how this works.
Let's go.
Let's go. So what we're doing here is we're going to catch some small live baits in a cast net. They go anywhere from 2 to 4 inches long. The detail with this active target, we'll be able to see exactly what kind of bait we're catching, and we'll be able to tell, you know, just how many are there
and where they're at, right? So
when to throw the net.
Yeah.
Here's some here.
Ready, David?
Left, left, left. Straight. All right, start going to the right some. Easy, easy. Empty the net. Come on, what happened there?
All right, RT, so you filled the boat up full of bait, right? We made a few throws with the net. So we got bait now. We're coming up on our first fishing spot. So tell me how you're gonna come up here and attack this wreck, and we're gonna get on these fish.
All right, well, we're in a small little shrimp boat wreck, and it's about 40 feet of water, but one of the main things you don't want to do is drive right over top of these spots.
Okay.
Because you'll blow all the fish out. So now with my HDS 12, I can just put my cursor up, and it'll give me the distance to the wreck and also the direction to the wreck, so I don't have to drive over it.
So you can keep the boat exactly where you need it, the right distance and the right direction away from it.
Yeah, without driving over it, spooking all the fish off of it.
Yeah. Okay, RT, so you've got your waypoint picked out on this spot, on this wreck here, and you've told us how we're going to stay exactly where we want to be in order to fish it, both in terms of distance and then the approach angle. So now that we got all that stuff set up, what's next?
Well, we're going to put the trolling motor in the water and put that active target out to use, and we'll see how it works.
All right, we're just going to put that in anchor mode and sit here and fish, right?
Yeah, we'll put it in anchor mode, try to just stay the same distance off the wreck and see what we can chum up.
All right, let's do it.
There it is on the sonar. You're seeing all the fish we're marking. We're just a little bit to the upcurrent side of the structure. All right, we're gonna put this ground up chum in the chum bag. And I like to use these extra large mesh bags that lets the pieces go out. And we just throw her in the water and that's it. It'll disperse the chum out there into the water column, and hopefully the fish will come up to the top. Well, we got all kinds of fish down there. We got a lot of blue runners, which are a bait fish. There'll be snappers, cobias, hopefully some big king mackerel, Cero mackerel, Spanish mackerel. Catch pompano on this wreck. Permit sometimes. There you go. Bet you it's a jack of some sort. Blue runner.
That didn't take long.
No. Let them go. There's a mackerel right there. Oh, there you go.
You on, RT?
Yep. I think I got some kind of mackerel here. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice Spanish. There's a handy tool. Just put it on the hook.
No teeth on him, right?
Huh?
I said there's no teeth on him, right?
Oh, you got to be careful. That's another little crevalle jack. You can ditch him. Oh, there's a king.
Yeah.
Good bite. Looks like another nice mackerel. Remember, nice Spanish. We like to hook the pilchers right there through the sideways in the nose. There's a little clear spot. And that is just like candy. There he is. Pretty quick. These are nice Spanish mackerel. 4-pounders.
Anything with them?
They're not very good to eat. They're real oily. Off he goes. Nice king. No slack. Follow him around. Keep it tight, keep it tight, keep it tight. He's gonna probably take off one more time. Come over this side here.
You called that, RT?
Yep. That's a nice one.
That'll do. There we go, RT. So we got our first good one.
Yeah, buddy. That's a pretty nice king mackerel. Yeah, this is a little small wreck, holds a lot of bait, and therefore it holds a lot of fish when that happens. So, and we get quite a few kings this size here. We'll get some upwards of 50, 60 pounds. So, nice fish.
There you go. Good color on him.
Oh yeah, these are a lot of fun. They take so much line.
He definitely put up a good fight.
Yep. This time of year, this one of our mainstay fish in January is the king mackerel. Another real nice one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. All right, let him get up higher. Now. Hang on, Matthew. Watch his teeth.
There you go. There you go, RT.
That's a good fish. I'll take that one any day. Well, about a 30-pound king. Ate a nice live pilchard on this little that we caught earlier. And this little wreck is absolutely beautiful for these things. He's got made a couple of really good runs, 70, 80-yard runs, and just a heck of a fish, especially on that light tackle.
All right, RT, so we went and we fished your first spot, and we caught a few good fish there, but you decided to go ahead and move to another spot that you got. So we're here in a bit shallower water now, so tell me what you're doing and how you're going to find the fish here where we're at now.
Well, we're in a really shallower spot. It's only about 10 feet deep.
Yeah,
here.
you can see it really, really well on this reveal chart, right? I mean, it's very shallow.
And so what we're going to do, it's kind of muddy today, so we're going to use a side scan to find the wreck.
Okay.
So that should do a good job, and then we can catch our permit.
So you know, because of the chart and because of your waypoints you got, you know pretty much where this wreck is, but in order to actually find it and get on top of it, you're going to use your side scan, right?
Exactly. And what we're going to do is set up on the upcurrent side of it, and that's why we need to know where the wreck is exactly at.
Right. So once we find it with the side scan, then you know where it is, and then we know exactly how to position the boat, right?
Yes. All right. Now that I found the wreck, a little trick I like to use is I drift away from it and get my track, and then I'm able to take that track and reverse myself on it, and then you'll anchor perfectly on the wreck every time. So we're going to put a tube lure on and see if we can get some barracuda action. This is one of the simplest lures ever made, and barracudas love it.
A few things are swimming beneath this.
What's that?
There's a few things swimming beneath this.
Oh yeah.
They're stacked in there, RT.
Where's that chum bag at? We put it in this one?
Yeah, right there. You want me to put it out?
Yeah, could you?
You want me hanging on that side?
Throw a few of,
Yeah.
give me a little bigger one than that. Give me a little bit.
See him?
Wreck. Yeah, but there's your wreck right
Yeah.
there. So you're going to go right over the wreck there. It's probably deep enough there. Look at all. Ah. That thing fights hard. Such a variety on these wrecks. It's awesome. Jack Crabal, say goodbye. Boy, these are some little teenager cootators. They rule the roost around here.
It's a fine line between reeling fast enough to get them excited and too fast to keep it away
No,
from them.
you can't. If they want it, they'll get it. There ain't no doubt. That one's looking for him right now. See? Ah, came off. Now you're looking at there. Can you see my jig coming through?
Am I looking right at you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, there it is. It just was there for a second. There it is. There's his bait.
Well, we had a heck of a time on the wrecks.
We did.
I heard about this new area. Got some hard bottom in it. I think we can take this reveal map,
See if we can find it.
see if we can find it right there, right off the reveal.
All right, let's go see. Let's go play around with this CMAP reveal chart and see if we can find the spot you're talking about.
All right, let's do it. Just put a pilchard on and we'll drift over this area and see what we can come up with.
Okay.
Just snatch him.
Ah, I had one.
Trying to catch a yellow jack or something. The machine's covered up right there, baby. So, wow. Look at them fish go nuts.
They're in here.
They're here. Now there's a big school of yellow jack usually hanging around here. So.
So RT, down here in Key West, you guys are able to do a lot of different fishing, you know, on any given day, depending on the conditions, you know, what's going on around you. So just kind of tell me how you go about, you know, in the morning, setting up, figuring out where you're going to go, what you're going to do, how you're going to go fishing for the day.
We usually, first thing I look at is the wind and the velocity. So I go to an app on my phone and I can figure out where I can fish. So fortunately, the Keys run east and west, and so if the wind's blowing out of the north, we go to the south. If the wind's blowing out of the south, we can go to the north. So,
Get behind.
Yeah, get behind the lee of the island, and it usually works out really good that way. I also rely on a tide chart that I get from my HDS, and I'm able to tell exactly what tide I'm going to be dealing with and the locations I want to fish.
Yeah, so you're really using the tides and the currents and the wind together to figure out where you're going to go, right?
One of the worst things you can do is try to get the wind into the tide. That makes it rougher and a lot harder to fish, and your chum's not going to the right place and all that.
Yeah. So once you've got all that set up, you figured out kind of what you think the conditions are going to allow you to do for the day. What's next? Like how do you go to a chart and decide where to go? I know you probably know pretty much every fishing spot around here, right? But you still got to figure out how to get there and when you've arrived. And
I'm helpless without GPS. I mean, you really need the GPS to guide you to the right spot. And then one of the great features on the HDS is the reveal charts. They have changed the whole game fishing in the Keys for us.
Yeah, the CMAP reveal chart.
CMAP reveal, yeah. We're able to go to one of my spots because a lot of them show up, my mark's right on top of the rock or the bottom, whatever we're fishing. And we're able to go to that and look at that and be able to spiral off that and go, there's another spot, looks just like that spot.
Yeah.
And it's magic.
So you're even using the chart to find spots that you don't have marked.
I wish yeah. I mean, it's been a game changer for us in Key West.
So in true Key West fishing fashion, we weren't able to do the same thing on 2 separate days, right? So we had that first day where we spent a lot of time, in those wrecks. RT, you were really relying on your sonar and your chart to do that. But the next day we went fishing, the wind picked up, it was really kind of rough out there. So you made a call to say that we couldn't go out to those same places to make those big runs, right? So we stayed back in the back country, and you were able to put us on fish out there. So maybe tell us a little bit about how you came to where we were going to go on that second day.
Well, it definitely was the wind conditions. It was northeast, and what was it, blowing 25 or something like that. So we had to go tuck in. So we looked at the charts and found some narrower channels where the current would run good and running strong. And that's what, fish love the running current. And we tucked in behind the islands and did a little fishing on one of those channels out front of Key West on the Atlantic side. We caught, we catching mackerels and caught all kinds of fun fish.
Yep.
And then we went to the back and caught them. I think we got 4 or 5 nice sharks and used the tide chart there. We knew the tide was running the right way.
All right.
And able to get there.
Cool. Well, let's have a look at how a totally separate day with completely different conditions looks when we head out with RT. Well, RT, we had a really good day yesterday. We spent a whole day out fishing those wrecks and stuff. We got a few good fish. We were able to use the active target, and we were able to use the CMAP reveal chart to go out and find them right on spots you already had, with those wrecks that we already had marked on the chart. But I know as much as you know, so much of your fishing down here is dependent on the current conditions, right? So we had a good day yesterday. We were able to get out today. Weather's not quite as good, right? Wind's blowing pretty hard, so we're probably not going to be able to get to go out where we were headed yesterday, right, RT?
Yeah, we'd love to get there, but wind's blowing 20, 25, and down here it's, that's a lot of open water to get through to get to the stuff. So I think we're going to try to get in the back country, and we'll go into some of the channels and get up against some deeper spots in the mangroves and see what we can do with the with the equipment. The active target should work really good, and we can do some side scanning. And
so you've got some places back up in the back country, so we can get there with the CMAP reveal chart, and then once we get there, we can set up side scan and active target and use the radar and see what we can find.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, then let's get to it.
Let's do it. Normally I use the radar for finding birds offshore. We can use it for that. It's that simple to put up. But today it's kind of overcast and everything, and we have some small channels we're going to find. So we're going to use the radar to find the little PVC markers to get us through the channels. And we'll use the reveal charts to see the channels and just see where it's safe to run. That's a good feature about that, so it is very safe. Right now we're fishing out of the channel, and we're just going to fish in a deep hole where the fish like to go when it gets cold and windy. They get off the shoreline usually, and so that's what we're trying right there.
So with where we're at right now, the wind is blowing 20, 25 miles an hour, but the current is also ripping through here. So you can see there's fish down here in the current, and you can see them coming toward us with the active target as the current's pushing them along. And RT's just making casts into these fish when I'm calling them out. So he can see on the trolling motor where the active target is pointed. And so when I'm seeing fish come through, I'm just telling him where to make his cast.
what we're doing now is we're looking for a hole. Now, see, we're going down into this trench, and the fish like to lay up and down in there, and it's heavy outgoing current. The fish like to lay in the hole that breaks the current for them, and then as a bait fish come by,
yeah, we saw them getting pushed in the current on the active target earlier, right? When we were making those casts, they were just flying by us underwater. But what you're looking for is see if they're sitting down in here, right?
Right. So you see, you got some fish laying right here. You got some fish laying up in the upper column.
Yeah. So down in here, they're a little bit more protected from the current, right?
They're very protected.
The water's gonna be flowing up here, but not so much
It'll
down
be
here.
twisted like that.
Yeah. And you can see those rocks and stuff that they're hanging on over here on the side scan as well.
Yep. So this is a really good ambush point for fish, is when you can find something like this, and this with the side scan and a depth sounder. Then you can also mark it on your GPS.
It's a little funnel choke point, right?
Yep. Now what we'll do is we'll go up here and we'll put the trolling motor down
and drift back into it.
We'll actually let's just do the automatic anchoring.
Oh, you want to anchor up current of it?
Up current of it.
Why do you want to do that, RT?
Well, because you can fish back into the hole, and that's the way the bait's coming, is down current.
Okay.
So we'll just anchor here and see if we can catch some fish out of that hole.
All right. We'll put the trolling motor down.
At least a blue rudder or a jack.
Oh, it's crazy how much of a difference just that makes.
Yeah. Thank you for not littering.
So RT has brought us right to this channel cut. You can see it here on the CMAP reveal chart. They cut this through and then put markers up so you can run back into these mangroves. You can see it's really shallow on either side, and they've cut it up. And we are sitting right here. The current is running out. There's a nice little foam slick right next to us that we're fishing. And RT's got some jig heads out with some live bait that we just caught. And you can see these mackerel and snapper down here on the bottom and up here in the middle water column on the sonar. So RT's gonna see if he can hook a couple of them up, and we'll see what we can make of it.
Little blue runner. Pretty much every drop. Just small fish. Zero mackerel. I'm gonna put this mackerel out and see if we can't get a bigger fish of some sort. Could get a blacktip shark, would be my guess. Maybe a bull shark. There were some bigger ones hitting there. Got the checks on him instead of the round dots. This is one of the better eating mackerels. It's a solid gold line, and then these things are like just little checks. Most of the time it's a little bit larger than that in here. I actually caught a world record zero mackerel in here.
One of many.
I think we got us a nurse shark there, boys. He's a big one.
What's he biting on?
We put a big half a mackerel out there on the bottom. This might be a Goliath grouper.
That would be awesome.
He was kind of holed up on something. Ah. He got in the hole that we were fishing in. He got in a ledge in there and just cut it off. Got wrapped around something. Not good. That was a nice fish.
So RT, I see you got some waypoints on a few little coral heads out here. Tell me what these waypoints are doing and how you use those to find fishing spots.
Well, I usually only put a waypoint on a spot that's, you know, worthy, really good.
Yeah.
And with this reveal chart, you're able to match. So this is a waypoint I know is really good. And I can look over here and say, you know what, that looks like the same kind of bottom. And I'll be able to go over there and it'll fish just like your other rock.
Okay, so even though this is a spot that you don't necessarily have marked, you can see on this reveal chart, you can find a similar area and go out and find somewhere else that you don't have a waypoint on.
It's unbelievable how many things you can find with that. It's how we fish now. We go to our existing spot and then we'll just start working out about a quarter of a mile away and look at the different contours and everything, and you're able to match it up and just crush the fish. Well, Matthew, I brought you into this area where there's a channel goes between these two islands. And what we're looking for is for the water flow to come in. It's going to hit the island and it's going to channel it down and speed it up. And so therefore, the bait fish are going to be in here, mudding up like the mullet stuff.
Yeah.
And then the sharks will follow.
Okay, yeah, and this is a pretty narrow little fish highway too, right? So we got.
Oh yeah, so you always want to narrow down.
Yeah.
Where you're fishing at because it's less space.
And both of these islands are full of mangroves, right? So we're seeing the edges of them there on the side scan as we drive through here. So you can see a few little rocks in the trees over there as well on either side.
You can also see some fish and stuff like that. So that's probably those mullet that we're hoping to see. You get a nice clear picture there. There's your mangroves right here along this edge here. Well, we found where we want to set up here. We could get the bait out and we'll fillet up a bonita and put him in the chum bag and let him do his work.
All right.
Might be a nursie. That didn't take very long, Matthew. 2 bites and then we got one.
No, that was fast, RT.
I don't think he's a real giant one, but I think he's the right flavor.
There he is, right
he's
there.
Pretty good sized fish. I think it's a lemon. He look about 6 foot. Be coming up kind of tired. Oh yeah. Got a remora on him. He's pissed. That's a lemon shark. You can tell by his dorsal fin and his second fin look almost alike. Just a little bit smaller on his second fin. There he goes. Matthew's own. You go ahead and tighten that drag up just a little bit now. More. That's good. Probably gonna have to walk him around. But
Yeah, he's gonna head this way.
remember the troll motors now.
There he is.
Another nice lemon. He's trying to bite something. Another feature I like is that my trolling motor integrates with my HDS 12, and I'm able to follow a route, so I can put up different spots that I want to fish along this mangrove shoreline, and I can, when I fish one, and if I break some line off or if I just want to move, all I have to do is put the boat in the nav and it'll go to the next waypoint automatically for me. And so you can have a small area that you can just automatically get
So you can
to.
fish a chain of waypoints without really having to drive.
Yeah.
You can focus on other stuff.
You can focus on other stuff, re-rigging, taking care of your clients' drink water or drinks or whatever. But
yeah,
it's handy to be able to just turn your back on it and get to where you're going.
Well, that was a fun day of fishing, RT, and it certainly was different than the first day. Like I was saying, it really gives you an example of just all the kinds of different types of techniques and fishing and tactics you can use down here in Key West. And we talked a lot about using your chart and your sonar in order to get on those fish, right? Whether it was in those wrecks or whether it was up in the backcountry. But you also use radar quite a bit too, right? So you've got that Halo, that new Halo dome on your boat. Talk to me a little bit about how you're using radar. You know, when it's useful for you. I know you know the water's like the back of your hand, but it still means you got to be paying attention for stuff up on the surface, right?
Definitely. A lot of days we get up early to catch bait before daylight, and we use the radar to keep us safe. I mean, we can see oncoming boats, and we see the channel markers, and are able to navigate at night with fearless, really. You know,
yeah,
it's safe.
Seeing all the markers and the little marker buoys and
right.
posts and pilings.
Yep. And also we do a lot of sword fishing at night, and so that keeps us safe. I mean, you leave that radar on, and you're able to see freighters coming, boats coming, anything that would get in your way.
Yeah, being out there in the dark overnight, 20 miles offshore, you want to know what's around you, right?
Right. It helps you get in for sure.
Yeah.
And the ease of operation with these Lowrance it's unbelievable. The HDS has easy modes where you just push the button. If you want to see birds, like we use that for mahi fishing a lot, push the bird button and it'll put it in that mode where it gets the most sensitivity and
on birds.
On birds. And you have harbor mode and you have the offshore mode, which is two different things, but they're short range and long range. And it's easy. Before when we used radar, it was fairly difficult to get it right. So yeah, I even use it to look for shrimp boats when we go in the Gulf.
Oh yeah.
Look, you can find a shrimp boat really easy with the radar, and it saves you a lot of gas by not being able to, or by being able to navigate to the boat, say 7-8 miles out, and you're able to navigate to them.
Find them with the radar instead of driving around looking for them. Yeah.
So it works great.
In terms of sonar technology, RT, you've got every sonar we make on your boat. And so in addition to using your chart and your radar to navigate safely, find the spot you're going to go, figure out what you're going to do for the day, then you're using your sonar once you get there in order to set your boat up to have a good day of fishing. Talk to me a little bit about how you use your traditional sonar. You're confirming the fish are there, or your side scan sonar maybe to find the actual location of the wreck or the reef once you've navigated. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, the sonar is absolutely critical. I mean, so we go on the spots, and some days the tide's different and the fish will lay different, and you'll be able to see which side of the rock that they're laying on a wreck and with the tide. And then the side scan is invaluable. I mean, because you could spend a lot of time just circling around looking. I mean, the GPS is really accurate, but that side scan will find things that's really close to the bottom.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to pick up your wreck or your even the smaller rocks, which we catch a lot of fish on the smaller structure.
Yeah, and we had that one wreck that you took us to, RT, where you said depending on the tide and the current and the water conditions, sometimes you can see it, right, and sometimes you can't. But we happened to be there when we couldn't see it, right?
Right.
And so you used the side scan in order to actually pinpoint its location
with
to
the
get
clouds
the boat in
and
the right
everything,
place.
it was very hard to see, and we were able to get it, and then we pinpointed going over it, then we pinpointed the east or the north and south sides of the tip of the wreck, so we were able to anchor on it correctly.
With the side scan.
With the side scan, yeah.
So RT, we used active target on both days. It didn't really matter what we were doing. We were able to use it to find the fish. Talk to me a little bit about how having that active target on your trolling motor is helping you put fish in the boat.
Well, first thing and the most important part of our day is catching bait. So having that active target scanning, and we could see the bait clearly and knew which side of the boat to throw the net on, and so that was a great part about it. I really like that. Then while we're fishing, we actually can see the jig and see what the fish are doing, reacting to it, or you can see your bait floating back. So we used it there, and then it was really extremely helpful with the sharks because we could tell that we're in 10, 12 feet of water. We could tell that sharks were actually in our chum slick, and we weren't wasting our time fishing that.
Yeah, we were able to really figure out what was going on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That worked good.
So let's put all these pieces together, RT. So we've used our chart, and we've used our radar, and we've used the tides and the wind to figure out what we're going to do for the day. You know, whether we can go out, hit the wrecks, go offshore, or if we got to stay in the backcountry and, you know, get up in the channels. We figured that out. Once we got to the spot, we were able to use our side scan and our traditional sonar, you know, in order to confirm the fish are there, find up how we needed to set up on whatever spot we were going to fish. What happens next? Like once I'm at my spot, once I've got my boat where I need it, what do I do now?
Well, first thing we pretty much always do is put a block of frozen chum out. So we'll put that, get the chum line started a little bit. Then as we have caught our bait, live pilchers is bait of choice we got for these trips. We'll start sprinkling them into the water. I usually like to let the chum block work for a while, and just to get the fish kind of stirred up, and then
get a little bit of an oil slick going.
Yeah, instead of wasting a pilcher just throwing them at first, I kind of just let the fish find us with the block chum, and then the pilchers, it's a whole different ball game. Once you throw a few in the water and the fish get fired up eating, you can throw almost anything out there and catch them. I mean, it's amazing how just a few baits will do that. Then after that, we just let the fun happen.
Yeah, you start doing what we went out here to do, right?
Start
Start
fishing and catching the fish. So that's a big part of it.
Well, RT, we certainly had a good couple of days fishing. I got to thank you first of all for having an opportunity to come down here and fish for a couple of days with a local legend. So thank you for that. But you were able to put us on fish both days, you know, no matter what the conditions were. So how was that?
It was awesome. It was really cool to be able to use the Ultimate HDS fishing system. I mean, we got to use every part of it, and so that worked great. And it was just fun having it. We caught kingfish, caught big barracudas. We saw some big cobias. We didn't get a shot at them. We caught.
Well, we couldn't get to them through the barracudas.
The barracudas were too fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a great time.
Yeah.
So,
don't forget those sharks too, back in the backcountry.
Yeah, that was fun too.
We had a lot of fun with that also.
Right.
Well, that was a lot of fun, RT. Big thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight to check out this webinar, and another big thank you to West Marine for putting this whole thing on. Don't forget to check out the details of the Lowrance Ultimate Upgrade rebate. You can visit lowrance.com/offers or westmarine.com to get those details. Also, don't forget, we've got the Go Fishing with Lowrance sweepstakes going on right now. You can win a fishing trip out of Isla Mirada at Hawks Cay Marina with some of our captains. So visit westmarine.com now through January 24th to enter.